Hello friends, now this is the 11th week of .NET 8.0 weekly journey. This is the continuation of 3 series. So previous week is the episode 2 of 3 of MSBUILD. And this is the last discussion of MSBUILD. I mean, not actually the last, but for this .NET 8 journey is actually I try to pack any discussion of MSBUILD into these 3 sub-episodes. Hopefully, you will get the basic idea of what MSBUILD can do, not just using it for both .NET Framework and .NET Core. This is also the 11th week, and I'm glad it's been more than 2 months I've done this video. Also, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Now I'm going to start this presentation. This is me, and next to me is my wife. Okay. Now she joins with me. And for your information, I'm outside my home because I want to search for different atmosphere, of course. If you want to reach me, you can reach on my LinkedIn, and this is my GitHub ID. I'm also a member of .NET Foundation Open Source Project Onboarding Committee, meaning that if you have a .NET project and it is open source, it is on GitHub. If you want to have more support, like the CI/CDs, we can have a like Azure DevOps. Like let's say if you want to sign your code and other kinds of open source support, please ping me. You can reach me on LinkedIn or GitHub. Next one, this is the plan update so far. Again, I'm not going to mention each of the plan. We are going to focus on project system and MSBUILD, especially for these 3. This is now the last of the sub-episode or mini episodes focusing on MSBUILD. We are still a bit far from the overview of technologies or features, but those features are nothing, again, if we don't know how the .NET SDK is working, also in relation, especially like me, that I'm coming from the .NET Framework world, so I have to do some migrations and understanding the whole infrastructure of that kind of toolings. Toolings means that, not just the compiler, of course, but also the MSBUILD and the project that comes with the .NET SDK. Now, it comes to episode 11, 3 of 3. In this video, there will be more demos, of course. I'm going to skip this. This is basically a recap for what we have seen for the core technologies. And this is the overview. On the .NET SDK, usually you use by running .NET Build or MSBuild. There is a .NET Run. The .NET Run is actually running .NET Build implicitly, which is running MSBuild, of course. That's the same as running MSBuild by default. We have seen the options for .NET Build. And previously, last week, I was trying to answer all of these 4 interesting questions. But this last point, can I test about can I run .NET with again solution with mixes of .NET Framework and .NET Core projects on top of Linux, which is something that doesn't really working. But you need .NET Framework reference assemblies for that. Okay. For the .NET SDK, support for .NET SDK is usually comes for your, that the first line of your project files, project with the attribute of SDK, and according to the documentation, it comes from the release of MSBuild 15. MSBuild 15 actually comes from Visual Studio 2017, and the actual support is available since .NET Core 2.0. This means I should make it quote-unquote obsolescence of JSON project that comes in .NET Core 1.0 and 1.1. So if you want to know the list of the .NET SDK, it is available on the official documentation, this link, and this list may change on each release. Version A have something, and the next version like B or C, you may not see that again, I'm afraid. So you still have to keep up with the releases of these .NET, which now I just call .NET SDK. So I'm going to put a demo, but before that, going back to here, and I'm going to click. So this is the list of the project. I actually have opened it on this. This is the list in the perspective of .NET 8.0, and also .NET 7 is still valid, but not for very old releases, which I'll show you in a minute. Okay, on this release of these .NET SDKs, we have Microsoft.NET.SDK, Microsoft.NET.SDK.web for ASP.NET Core. We have now Microsoft.NET.SDK.Razor, Microsoft.NET.SDK.Blazor WebAssembly. So this is for the Blazor wasn't support, and also SDK. Then we have here Microsoft.NET.SDK.Worker. This is for targeting or implementing .NET Core on Worker service. The last one is MS-Test SDK. So this is the current and latest SDK list by default from .NET SDK. There is also MAUI, but honestly I haven't tested yet. I already installed MAUI on my machine, of course. Okay, let's see what I'm trying to say about these SDK releases. The difference of that release concerning these SDK, I give the sample. If I have .NET .NET SDK, the older release such as 3.1. I still remember that 3.1 is targeting can target WinForms or WPF, but the SDK is desktop, if I'm not mistaken. So let's try to do that. I have prepared a folder with this global JSON targeted or forced to use .NET Core 3.1. Let's check it. Okay, 3.1 400. I scroll forward to latest feature. And if we see .NET New, so on this one, I forced to use .NET New for 3.1 because the latest one requires you to use .NET List instead of .NET New-L. So right now I'm going to run this, and you see that these are the target for 3.1 SDK. You see that WinForms and WPF here. This is WPF, also WinForms, Windows Forms. Okay, now I'm going to create a new solution. Give it a name. Sample net31. Stop. No, I just make SDK for the brother sense. So the solution file has been created successfully. Oh boy. Okay. It seems the console is not refreshing. Now I've done it. Let's see. Solution is done. Okay, I'm going to open Visual Studio Code here. And we have here Visual Studio version is 15. This means yeah, this comes with 2017. Looks like. Of course, you can open this on the newer version of Visual Studio. Doesn't matter because Visual Studio always have backward compatibility. I'm going to close this, and now it's time for me to create that new WinForms. WinForms. Let's see, it's just WinForms. I'm going to give it a name. The name is sample .NET Core SDK. I know it's a mouthful, but let's try. Oh, sorry, we have a plane coming. This is the joy of recording outside my home. Ah, okay. It is over. Okay. Uh, I need to specify the folder. Is the option available? Okay, name and the output. Oh, fine. Sample forms 431 -o. I'm going to put this inside this folder, hopefully. Let's see. Okay, looks like this is the correct one. Restore succeeded. So let's see the content of this project. CS prods. There you go. So you'll see that the SDK value or the value content within the attribute is Microsoft.NET SDK Windows Desktop. This guy is not available since .NET 5 because .NET 5 is just using .NET SDK. But yeah, we could check that later. Now this already proof that this SDK is not available on the later releases, and it doesn't mean that it is deleted. It's now in the later release. This Microsoft.NET SDK Windows Desktop is unified inside this Microsoft.NET SDK. So you could just specify this, and don't forget to use the element of use Windows Forms equal to true or use WPF equals to true to exactly instruct your project to have support for WinForms and WPF. Okay, I'll have some sounds being played. Okay. Yep, it is now done. So that already proved my point that the list may change on each release. Do we have to fear this? I think we don't have to now because since .NET 5.6, I believe, or sorry, 5.0 or 6.0, consider that since .NET 6.0, these releases and the list of the SDK project doesn't change much. Again, I don't know what would be the look of the .NET SDK if I create a new MAUI project. So we have already seen that the .NET SDK can change. don't worry. Since I think 5 or 6, I think 5, 6.5.0, this SDK thing is within, unified within .NET SDK. So you don't have to worry about that anymore. Although the framework is still Windows Desktop. If you remember the previous video, still Windows Desktop. So we have this available for us. So to close this, and now let's dive further MSBuild. So MSBuild have many kinds of, they say, targets. Targets is not related to .NET SDK target, but it's more like the action of MSBuild. So by default, if you let me do MSBuild, or okay, I just use .NET Build. So if I call .NET Build here, you see that, oh, this is interesting. I'm using 2022, but now .NET Build is targeting MSBuild version 16. Oh, okay, this is quite new to me. Let's see if I go to source. Do I still get the MSBuild 16? Okay. Well, I don't get it. Okay. I should get the logo, hopefully. Don't display, which already is no logo by default. Okay. Do not display the startup banner. How do I enforce with logo? Looks like I cannot. Oh, okay. I could use MSBuild. Okay, now I'm getting the 17.11. For .NET Core 3.1, I'm getting 16.7. 16.7. 16.7. Interesting. So 3.1 is using 16.7. Let's look at the download page. Okay. 3.1. Oh, okay. Makes sense. Because it is coming with Visual Studio 2019. This means Visual Studio 16. But hang on. 2019 for Mac. Maybe should go for the initial release. There you are. 16.4. So Visual Studio 2019. Okay. That proves my point that 3.1 is using MSBuild version 16. Now the 3.1400 or something is using 16.7. Now you see that this whole what is the term for that? Train or bundle of each release is closely linked. So .NET Core 3.1 it is using 16 version MSBuild version 16 and 3.1.4 XX, or right now I have 4.1. 6 or whatever, it is using MSBuild 16.7 inside the .NET build, of course, because I'm compiling with MSBuild or running the build using MSBuild that comes with the SDK directly. This is caused by the explicit SDK that I defined in the global JSON. If you follow previously, so I'm going to go back to that folder. You can see that samples global JSON. I'm using 31400, and the other option I use is roll forward, but only to the latest feature, meaning that I'm not going to roll forward to the latest major, so it will not use .NET 8.0 that is available on my machine. This may sound a little bit tricky in a sense that you really have to pay attention on this kind of link release version and the tooling. I think you still have to pay attention. Why? Because this is also implicitly means that you have to pay attention on each of the release or the evolution of the .NET Core itself. That you cannot ignore, okay, I just have this code, should be running directly well. I have shown you that that kind of SDK, it is not available on the 8.0. So I think I'm going to open a new command prompt here. 2022. Where is it? There you are. Where is using administrator? That's fine. It's basically the same. Go to try D. Run VS Code from here. Yeah, you see here VS Code. Oh, looks like there is a new update. Ignore this. Let's just open Hello console. Yeah, this is using NET SDK. And if we look at the sample view of NET 8.0 is also using the NET SDK. Now you see that it is unified. Do I see this kind of unification on other kinds of project? I don't think so. Also, I think since now .NET 8.0 is still the LTS, we should not try to target to to all. Let's say if we want to target this to NET 3.1, you can do that. I think your maintenance will be much more difficult. Like the sample that I have here, I'm maintaining the .NET 8.0-Windows, 8.0-Windows 10, NET 6.0 Windows 7, just to prove my point that .NET 6 is still supporting Windows 7, but this is not a real production sample, because you know that Windows 7 is not supported anymore, so we should not target to Windows 7. Even that goes after release after Windows 7, like Windows 8, Windows 8.1. So there is no support for that anymore. And for Windows 10, the initial release is not supported. The initial release of Windows 10 is not supported. So the list of the available version. I'm afraid I still could not find the list for that. But as you have seen on my previous video, you'll see that it is the list of the supported version. It is available when you try to mess up your version. If let's say if I do some imaginary version like Windows 10.0.1000000 or whatever, and you will get that error and it says the supported version should be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or more versions. Now you see the whole thing, like the project system, MSBuild, and also TFM. And now we have TFM with the operating system, like this one. We have TFM with operating system and the version like X0-Windows 10.0.220000. Yeah, honestly, it is more complex, but in a sense that this could bring us more opportunity, like to test out each version of Windows that we want to support on our own. Let's say I want to check the support for 10.0.22000. I could use this DFM and see whether my WinForms application will be broken or not on this release. So you may wonder how to use MSBuild more. Like you know that in .NET Framework work we have a MSBuild target, MSBuild actions that defines in the target itself, and you can also try to do some quick debugging by displaying some message. I can show you now. So let's say I'm going to use that samples legacy NET Core 3.1. Go to this folder, look at the CS works, of course. So basically, by default, you are running target of build when you run MSBuild. So let's look at the references or the actual documentation. I'll just close this because already open here, right? MSBuild reference. Oh, this one. Ah, there you are. Targets. Okay. Hang on. I need to go back. Let's open a new tab. So these are the MSBuild target. You have initial, default, first. On the .NET SDK style project, you will have before publish and maybe after publish. Let's see on the reference of project SDK. Is it mentioned or not? Related contents is here. Unfortunately, it is not mentioned. But yeah, we'll search for that later. Let's just use a normal target. So we have here the just for publish. There you are. So the following is the default public target in .NET Build system. This is also supported in the .NET Framework, not just .NET Core. So we have here build, before build, after build, for build, rebuild, for build, oh sorry, before rebuild, after rebuild. And will generate sources, will compile with link, copy, run environment files. Let's try use the for build. There is a sample. I think I'm going to use this. Copy. And I should have enough indentation like this, just to ensure that it's correctly formatted. So let's give this target name message before build. For targets, before publish. Okay, based on the target here, I'm going to use build. Importance is high. Text for target. So before building, just say this is for target build. And I'm going to specify another target to give sample that I can do after. See, this is nice. I get a different cell, like so attribute is in italic. It's good. This is after running target build. Let's try to compile this for running build. So I'm just going to use. Oh, hang on. Better clear this first. I think I'm not going to use this one. Or I will add everything. Commit. To show the SDK of version 2. Just I think I'm going to push this. So, yep, it is pushed on my main branch. Okay, now I can safely clean and reset. And I'm going to connect this. for both set to normal and see. Did it show well? Oh, okay, it shows before. I should, yeah, this is the like after. So this is some kind of useful way to do quick debugging what is done after running build successfully and before you run the build, like you have you have this 16.7 here for from. So where is my before build? This is prepared for. Okay, done build. This is strange. Sample win pop. Yeah, it works now. That the message text shown here. So let's go back to the source. Oh, I see. I should rename it. Okay. So this is after build, not for build. Silly me. Okay. The joy of having a live demo is having some silly mistake also live. Okay, now let's try to. Okay, I should commit the change. Yes. I'm going to clean it again. Clean and git reset. Build. I still have the history and going to rebuild again. So this is for running target build. And then after running target, do I have the same? Man, can I have before build? Let's see. Okay, before build. And that name is going to commit this. Weekly. I can see. No. Repeat again. Just this. Yep. So I have the correct after build and should be available before build. Okay, I got it correct now. I can show the message before build. This is before running target for build. Now that I have shown you this MS build is actually powerful, you can also do quick debugging to see uh, whether the state of MS build goes broken or not. I think this is uh, can be good more. Let's say if we want to see it is now what kind of configuration that we have. So let's add this one. What is the term for that? So MSBuild has its own default build variables. And let's see. Items, properties, concept, business integration. No. Maybe build reference. Trace well-known properties. Maybe this one. So target frame, inner build property values, assembly version. Let's see. Is there a sample? Is there? Assembly conditions. This is for checking target framework versions. Data. Properties. There should be something like a configuration, I guess. Schema. Task. And tools. No, this is for yeah, this is properties, which is defining. Okay. Check configuration. Let's open this project properties. I should be able to find configuration or something. Okay, there you go. Release. So let's try. Check this. Conditional construction. Example is, I'll use this syntax for now and put it. Configuration is equals to I think I'm going to replace it. Come somehow function like macros or string macros. That's right. So add sample for MSBUILD. Maybe it's more like default properties. Check. Starting more interesting. Oh, hang on. I forgot to run the clean. Let's see if I could embed the content of the configuration properties directly. There you are. You see that it is available. Now I have a debug configuration. See, it is in debug. So, what if I target to use release? Of course, you can do this. There is another switch for that. Release. Release means that you are going to have the output under the bin release NET Core app. Let's see. Okay, it seems correct. Now I have the configuration is release. It's in, yeah, the value is release, and you will see that it will be the release binaries will be put inside the release folder. So bin release NET Core app. Okay, this proves my point that you have to, unfortunately, dig more or dive deeper into MSBUILD just to see what's going on. So this is very useful in the sense that you may dump the output content on some kind of file, like log file or whatever, and then you can do some advanced diagnostic. There is a tool outside this .NET Core, and it's also very useful. It's been widely used by many .NET developers. It's called a MSBuild binlog. So let's try use it. Let me see. Is it? It seems more than 40 minutes. Okay, I think my initial mission is already achieved. I already given you some demo. Before that, I have given you some introduction why MSBuild is important, and it is vital if you want to develop .NET Core app, not just develop it, but also try to migrate from the .NET Framework. You also migrate from the previous version, like I did. I'm using .NET Core app 3.1 or .NET Core 3.1 because right now the SDK Windows Data is not available anymore. So we have to keep up with this kind of advances or progress. That's it. That concludes our mini episode of MSBuild. So I'm also inviting you to give some comment, give me some feedback. I'm also available on LinkedIn, of course. If you find this useful, don't forget to like and subscribe because your comment, also your feedback, gives me more passion to not just continue this whole video series, but also I'm going to author a new book for discussing MSBuild in detail. Hopefully, it will be released next year, if my memory doesn't fail me. Okay, uh, see you. Bye bye.